Hi boys and girls. I'm here at my mom and dad's house and my dad is helping me do some videoing so that I can teach you how to do some of these crafts. So the first craft that we're going to do this week is to make our sunflower to go with our sunflowers that we planted. So for this craft, you need to find the packet of paper that has a full sheet of yellow, a full sheet of green, a full sheet of orange, and a half a sheet of brown. It's in your packet and they're all stapled together, so you don't need to take anything apart. You're going to need a pair of scissors, you're going to need a glue stick, and you're going to need a pencil. This is a craft that I found on Pinterest for you guys to do, and I've never done it before, so I don't have an example to show you. So we're going to kind of be learning how to do it together. So the orange paper is going to be your background paper. I'm going to take all mine apart. You can tear them apart, or you can be a little bit more careful and take the staple out. Have mom or dad help you take the staple out though, so you don't poke yourself. The orange paper is going to be my background. That's the paper that we're going to put our sunflower on. The yellow is for the petals. The green is going to be for the stem and the leaves. And then the brown is going to be optional for the center, and I'm going to tell you about that at the end when we get to that. So the first thing I want to do is kind of plan for my sunflower on the orange paper. I need to make a stem, and then I want the head of the sunflower to be the focus of the design. So I'm going to think about making my stem come up to just about past halfway. I'm going to create a stem any way I want on the green paper. So you can use your pencil to draw a stem if you want to, or you can just use your scissors and cut. I'm just going to go ahead and use my scissors and cut. I'm going to make it probably about just over 2 inches wide. So for Miss Mickey, that's 3 of my fingers. For some of you, that might be 4 of your fingers to make it 2 inches. And it doesn't have to be straight, because have you ever seen a sunflower with a straight stalk, straight stem? They have all kinds of curvy stems. So if you want to make it curvy, you could. I'm going to save the rest of my green paper for the leaves. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. I'm going to glue it all the way down so that the bottom of the stem is matching up with the bottom edge of the paper. So go ahead and go around the perimeter of your flower stem. Probably don't need an X in the middle. These are probably skinny enough that we don't need to put that X in the middle. Just the perimeter should be good. So there's my sunflower stem, and it still needs some leaves. So I'm going to use this green paper now to draw some leaves. And leaves are kind of easy to draw. They're just the same shape as a raindrop. So if you can draw a raindrop, you can draw a leaf. So on my paper, I'm going to use my pencil to draw a leaf. And I'm actually going to do it in marker so that you guys can see it a little bit better. But I want you to do it with a pencil. So I'm just going to draw that teardrop shape. And I'm going to have, I think, 3 leaves on my sunflower. I'm going to make them a couple different sizes. And then you can go ahead and cut those out. Try to do my speedy cutting for you. Now remember, when we put these on our paper, we're going to make sure that we put the side with the drawing on it down so that we don't have to see our lines. So that's going to be the side that you're going to put the glue on. As I'm cutting these out, I was actually thinking we might want to put our leaves on last. So I'm actually going to take those 3 leaves that I cut out. I'm going to set them to the side and I'm going to put those on last. The next thing we'll do is we'll make our petals for the sunflower. So for the petals, you're going to need the whole yellow paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 1-inch strips all the way across. So if you have a ruler at home, you can lay a ruler down to make lines to cut. I'm just going to go ahead and free cut the paper all the way across into 1-inch strips. All the way from one edge to the other, and I'm cutting it on the short way, so the hamburger, or the hot dog way. I'm sorry, I've got it going the hot dog way, and I'm cutting the strips. And I'm going to cut the whole paper If some of the strips are a little bit fatter and some of them are a little bit skinnier, that's okay too. Is that good? I'm hoping that the cutting's not too super loud. Whoops. I should have had this pre-cut. I didn't think about this part. So thanks for being patient. All right, here's the fun part of making our sunflower. I'm going to take one of my strips and I'm going to figure out where I want the center of my sunflower to be, and I'm going to glue one end of that strip down to where I want the center of the sunflower to be. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right at the end of that strip I made, and then glue it out in a star shape. I'm going to do that all the way around my sunflower with my strips. You want to make sure that the center, or the end, sorry, not the center, the end of your strip is always starting right at the center of the sunflower. I tried to plan ahead of time kind of about where to space my strips out so that they went all the way around, and I'm not sure. I need to adjust to some of them a little bit because I only have 2 strips left, and I don't think that space is big enough for 2 strips. So while my glue's still wet, I'm just spreading them out a little bit, and you can do the same thing with yours. Here are my last 2 strips to go down. So after you have all your strips glued on, your paper should look like that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to curl each one of the strips over and glue the other end to the center. So I'm going to try to start where I think I started with the first one because those ones are going to be the most dry. I'm going to keep putting that glue right in the middle. I'm going to take one of my strips. I'm not going to bend it. I'm just going to curl it and take this end and glue it on to the center. So I have a little curly piece on my sunflower for the petal. I'm going to do that all the way around. Oops. Again, you want to make sure, my fingers are getting sticky from the glue. You want to make sure that you're putting them all in the center so that your sunflower looks the same size all the way around. Miss McGee has glue on her finger, so every time I try to push that down, it pops it right back up. All right, 2 more to go. I'm going to put a little extra glue on this last one to make sure that it holds it all together. All right. There you go. So right now it should look something like that. I'm going to go ahead and put those petals, or not the petals, the leaves on now. The reason I didn't put them on before is because I didn't know how far down my petals were going to come, and I didn't want my leaves to get covered up. So you can lay them on there and see what looks good before you glue them on if you'd like. I think I'm going to do mine something like that. Go ahead and just go around the perimeter on the back side of your leaf. I don't think you're going to need to go through the middle. Just the perimeter should be enough glue. All right. The last thing we have to do is the brown paper, and this is the one that I said was optional. On the internet, when I was looking for sunflower crafts, I found this sunflower craft, and they took real sunflower seeds, the kind that you can buy and eat at the store, and they used white glue, the runny kind of glue, and they put runny glue in the middle, and then they put sunflower seeds in the middle for the center of the sunflower. I don't have any of those. You could do that if you wanted. Another idea I had was maybe a little bit of soil. If you could go get some soil out of your garden, you could put some glue in the middle and then drizzle a little bit of soil over the top of it. And once that dries, you'd have a crusty looking, realistic sunflower center. I'm going to do mine with the brown paper. I could cut just a circle and glue the circle right in the middle, but I want to show you a different technique that I think will look a little bit more realistic. And that's where we tear our paper into pieces. So I'm going to take this brown paper, I'm going to tear it so that I don't have this straight edge. I want the fuzzy edge of the paper to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of all those straight edges because I don't want any of those. And I'm just going to start tearing off pieces about the size of a nickel or the size of a quarter. Quarter might be too big. Maybe go more like penny or nickel. If you make a too big a one, just tear it in half. You probably won't need the whole brown paper, so don't worry about tearing up the whole thing. Just get enough that you think looks like that's a good amount for the middle. I think I'm probably good there. So I will start gluing those in. I'm going to start by just putting a bunch of glue all the way around the middle and doing one layer. When you do tear art, which is what this is called, tear art, you want the pieces to overlap. So I'm going to start with a bottom layer and then I'll put on the pieces to overlap. All right, here we go. I'm going to put some more glue on now for that second layer. Oops, that one didn't have enough glue on it. And I'm going to cover up that one little spot in the middle. And there we have our sunflower craft. So at the very end, you know that in the bottom right corner, you need to sign your art. And I can't do that upside down. If you don't have a Sharpie at home to sign your art, you can sign it with a black marker or you can sign it with pencil. And there you have your sunflower craft. I hope you enjoyed it, boys and girls. Take a picture and send it to me.